The Scottish Courts and Tribunals Service British Sign Language BSL Plan 2018 to 2024. Wherever we refer to BSL users, we mean capital D/d deaf and/or deaf-blind people, those who receive the language in a tactile form due to sight loss, whose first or preferred language is British Sign Language. Consultation. The Scottish Courts and Tribunals Service, SCTS, is currently seeking views on its draft British Sign Language BSL plan. This plan supports commitments in the British Sign Language BSL National Plan and sets out the actions we intend to take to promote BSL and support BSL users, including tactile BSL, over the period covering 2018 to 2024.
Giving us your feedback. The consultation runs until the 31st of August 2018. You can respond to this consultation in English or BSL. Email equality@scottcourts.gov.uk. Please email your response form and put BSL plan in the subject line. Email equality@scottcourts.gov.uk. Please send us an email with YouTube or Vimeo links to videos of your responses to the questions and put BSL plan in the subject line. Please do not attach videos to the email as we cannot receive large files. Post. Send your response form to Katarzyna Zaduniak, Equality and Diversity Manager, Spur N1, Sawton House, Broomhouse Drive, Edinburgh, EH11 3XD. If you have any questions about this draft plan or our consultation, please contact equality@scottcourts.gov.uk, or you may phone us at 0131 444 3455 through Contact Scotland-BSL if you are a deaf BSL user.
Purpose. Section 2 of the British Sign Language Scotland Act 2015 states that public authorities must publish an authority plan in which they set out measures they will take for the use of British Sign Language BSL in connection with the exercise of their functions. The authority plan must be published within 12 months from the publication of the British Sign Language BSL National Plan, which was published on the 24th of October 2017. About SCTS. The Scottish Courts and Tribunals Service, SCTS, is a non-ministerial department established by the Judiciary and Courts Scotland Act 2008. Its statutory function is to provide administrative support to the Scottish Courts, devolved tribunals and the Office of the Public Guardian, OPG. The SCTS has a presence in many communities across Scotland. Court and tribunal business is conducted daily across the country in over 40 locations and, in the case of tribunal business, some 70 further remote locations. In addition to administering Scotland's courts and tribunals, SCTS supports the Office of the Public Guardian and Accountant of Court. The OPG provides guidance and undertakes investigations to protect vulnerable people under the terms of the Adults with Incapacity Scotland Act 2000. The public guardian is also the accountant of court. The SCTS also provides the staff and administrative support to the Scottish Civil Justice Council, which drafts rules of procedure for the civil courts and advises the Lord President on the development of the civil justice system, the Scottish Sentencing Council, responsible for preparing sentencing guidelines, publishing guideline judgments, and information about sentences imposed by the courts in Scotland. Introduction. This plan sets out the commitments to the use of British Sign Language, including tactile BSL, in connection with the exercise of the functions of the Scottish Courts and Tribunal Service, SCTS. The purpose of the SCTS is to support the effective administration of justice. We fulfil that purpose by providing the people, buildings and services needed to support the judiciary, courts, devolved tribunals and the office of the public guardian. Therefore, we play a crucial role in supporting a safe, just and resilient society. We demonstrate the lengths to which we go to improve the quality of our service by making sure we focus on the individual needs of those who rely on the Scottish justice system. Thus, we fully support the Scottish Government vision to make Scotland the best place in the world for BSL users, including tactile BSL, to live, work and visit. We are committed to improving our services and making them easily accessible by all service users, including those who use BSL. The interests of the deaf community have been for some time now represented on our Equality Advisory Group, EAG, by the British Deaf Association, Scotland. The aim of establishing the EAG was to access objective advice about mainstreaming equality from people who are committed to understanding the role of the SCTS and the challenges it faces in delivering our purpose and outcomes. The main purpose of the group is to act as a critical friend to the organisation by giving advice on new and existing policies, procedures, and providing fresh insight about developments in the equality sector. SCTS is committed to pursuing all actions presented in this plan and to regularly report on progress with their implementation. We will provide a contribution for the National BSL Plan Progress Report in 2020. SCTS Contribution to the BSL National Plan. The SCTS is committed to supporting the long-term goal for all Scottish public services set out in the BSL National Plan, which is, across the Scottish public sector, information and services will be accessible to BSL users. We will support Scottish Ministers' commitments to analyse existing evidence we have about BSL users in our area, identify and fill key information gaps so that we can establish baselines and measure our progress. Improve access to our information and services for BSL users, including making our website more accessible to BSL users. Promote the use of the Scottish Government's nationally funded BSL online interpreting video relay services called Contact Scotland-BSL, which allows BSL users to contact public sector services and for these services to contact them. Signpost staff who work with BSL users to appropriate BSL awareness training and enable them to take up such training. In order to do so, we are planning the following actions. To consult with BSL communities around Scotland and facilitate good relationships in order to improve our services and accessibility to employment in SCTS. To work with specialised providers to introduce video remote interpreting services. The SCTS currently provides BSL and English interpreters to support an accused person in criminal proceedings. We also promote the use of Contact Scotland-BSL when users are able to contact us by phone. However, there is no provision in place to assist with communication when BSL users appear in our venues on an ad hoc basis, e.g. to pay a fine or to use our premises as a keep-safe place when they feel frightened, distressed, or are the victim of crime when out in the community. We have accordingly liaised with the provider of Contact Scotland BSL to discuss the possibility of introducing video remote interpreting, VRI, in our venues. There are plans to pilot these services in some sheriff courts located in those areas most populated by deaf BSL users. We will work closely with local organisations in order to promote and evaluate the effectiveness of this scheme prior to any further rollout across the organisation. To improve the accessibility of our website by adding BSL and English interpretation and/or subtitles to existing guidance and information videos, including those available in relation to vulnerable witness special measures. To create a bespoke page on our website that deals entirely with accessibility information and guidance. To promote use of Contact Scotland-BSL by updating our website pages with appropriate links to this service and continue to raise awareness of the service among SCTS staff. To offer deaf and BSL awareness sessions for members of our staff and provide deaf awareness e-learning to all members of our staff, mandatory for frontline staff on an annual basis. We are also working closely with other justice partners in order to deliver the long-term goal for justice set out in the BSL National Plan, which is BSL users will have fair and equal access to the civil, criminal and juvenile justice systems in Scotland. We will support Scottish Ministers' commitments to establish a BSL-led Justice Advisory Group to provide expertise and guidance to justice agencies that will play a key role in developing and delivering a programme of improvements to help the agencies better meet the needs of BSL users. Work with partners to deliver and evaluate 2 training programmes aimed at supporting BSL and English interpreters to work within the justice sector, with a view to informing a longer-term approach. In order to do so, we are planning the following actions. We are actively involved with other justice partners in the work to establish a BSL-led Justice Advisory Group. An MSc/postgraduate diploma in BSL English Interpreting at the Queen Margaret University was validated at the end of March 2018 and the collaborative work on development of the module on interpreting in justice settings has started. SCTS will take part and support the filming of a court procedure video that will be used as a tool during the course, and also work closely with the university and other justice sector partners on reviewing its content where required. It is currently planned that the module be ready for delivery in September 2019. Further actions. We are planning to develop the support available to people in fulfilling their civic duty in the justice system. A study, Enabling Jury Service, was undertaken by a working group chaired by a Senator of the Supreme Courts, Lord Matthews. The subsequent report makes a series of recommendations intended to open the way for as many people as possible to serve on juries, taking into consideration their individual needs, impairments, or disabilities. It explores what reasonable adjustments and measures might be put in place in courts to support jurors, and the criteria that may be considered by the court in determining the suitability of a person to serve as a juror in a particular case. The report's recommendations fall into two categories: those in which procedures can potentially be adapted without changes to legislation, and those where it is more likely that new legislation will be required. The second category includes recommendation which would seek to remove a legislative barrier, thereby paving the way for deaf BSL users to be included in the pool of potential jurors, i.e., creating the possibility for persons other than jury members, for example, a BSL English interpreter, to be present in the jury room during the jury's deliberations in the case. Where legislative changes have been proposed in the report, these will require to be considered by the Scottish Government and may be subject to wider consultation. The report may be found at this link. We are also planning to improve access to employment in SCTS for BSL users. The SCTS is participating in the Scottish Government Disability Confident Employer Scheme, and therefore there are a number of provisions in place to support recruitment and retention of disabled people and people with health conditions for their skills and talent. However, we recognise that there is always room for improvement. Therefore, we will look to improve accessibility to employment for deaf BSL users. In order to do this, it has been agreed that a pool of jobs which may prove suitable for deaf BSL users will be identified, and proposals for recruitment and introduction of relevant reasonable adjustments in employment will be process mapped. We will work closely with local BSL communities and other organisations in order to explain how these specific roles have been selected and to make sure that advertisement of these positions is in the format most accessible for deaf BSL users and is likely to be accessible to the broad BSL community. We will also explore improving access to the recruitment section of our website by providing BSL and English interpretation and subtitles to the induction video and other materials available for the recruitment and promotional process.